Hey guys, it's April. We are going to be making what is called a cantilever box, and this is just my old ugly mock-up where I've been working on it to make sure everything works and changing stuff so none of these pieces are alike. But it looks complicated, but it's super easy, okay? And most of the cutting is just decorative pieces. There's more decorative pieces than there are anything. Now, that being said, you don't have to cut two sets of these. There are two sets in there. I wasn't sure what color I wanted to use or if I wanted to double mine up and reinforce, so I cut two. I left those in the file in case you wanted to do the same thing. You're going to need anywhere between 28 and 36 of these little brads. Now, these come in 600 to a box at Hobby Lobby. You can get them at Michael's as well. So there's 6 colors. I'm assuming there's 100 of each. That's enough to do 2 boxes at least. And these are not the minis. These are like the ones in between the minis and the regular size. And that's the ones you want. The minis will probably go through the holes. So you want to make sure you get that kind of, I think it's just over 1/8 of an inch on the head of it. Okay, but in case anybody's wondering, it is item number 980037. It's a Paper Studio 600 piece brads. It does not give a size on there, so just so you know. I think I have some of the teeny tiny ones that I had from Michael's. Yeah, these are the little bitty ones. I don't know if you can see those. These are too small. Okay, they're about like the top of a pinhead, and those are too small. You want the ones up from there, which is the medium ones. Okay, and then the large ones look like this. Those are too big. Okay. Because these are going to be too long for some of these. So make sure you get those. And if you want to eliminate those, you can on some parts of it, but for the lever parts, you really do need them. Okay. But for pieces like this panel here, this bottom panel, I have holes in there to do 8 little feet. You can contour those out if you don't want to do feet on the bottom. Okay. Super easy and simple. And you'll contour them out on the bottom piece of the box as well if you're not doing that. So these are the main parts of the box. You have different sizes here. Or not different sizes, but different cuts. I haven't punched all my holes out. The ones that have the holes here, those are your bottom pieces. Right here, those are bottom. You have 2 of each. The ones with 3 holes, okay, that's your middle boxes. And then the ones with this flap here are your tops. Okay. And I cut these out of 80-pound Cricut cardstock. This is your base piece. These are your handle pieces. And I did cut 2. We are going to reinforce and do 2 of those, gluing them together. So if you want to cut a pretty pattern paper out of one, you can as well. Then you're going to have inside pieces for inside panels. You don't have to have those if you don't want them. That's extra. And then you have your top piece and then your decorative panels. Okay. And you can eliminate those too if you want to. That's totally up to you if you just want a plain box, which would be great in the brown if you're going to do something for like Father's Day. Do a fishing tackle box as a gift with a bunch of stuff in it. That would be cool. Lots of uses for this. Cookies, candies, for your neighbors, whatever. Then you have these 3 decorative pieces. And I just cut these as the same as my decorative pieces. One as my inside, one as my outside. We're going to be stacking these up with some magnets in between. If you don't have the card magnets, they're just the little magnets like this. Okay. They're very small. But they're just crafting magnets, small little magnets. They're about, they're right about 1/4 inch in diameter. So those are what we're going to be using just for the top of our box, and those will be marked for us as well. So let's go ahead and get started putting this together. Doesn't matter where you start with, and I'm probably going to pause. I'm going to show you guys how to fold one of each, and then I'm going to pause and fold the others. That way you don't have to sit here and watch me do it twice. The top, everything is going to be folded away from you, or a mountain fold, whichever you want to call it, on all of the score lines. And then you're going to fold the sides in. And then you have 3 tabs on each one of these sides. You're going to fold those in as well. Now, if you want, you can go ahead and put your decorative panels on the outside before you do this. Totally up to you. You're just going to have to make sure that they line up, because you can see this decorative panel here, the 2 holes are over there, and these are here. So you'll need to flip it around, make sure that those line up, and it does. And same here. So you can decide where you want to put those. I'm using art glitter glue. You don't want to do your inside panels yet. And make sure that you get your corners. You don't want those lifting up on you. I'm just going to place it on there and make sure our holes are lined up. And we have it on straight. And I'm going to get another one. Now some of these will have 3 holes in them, so make sure you're grabbing the correct ones. Okay. I'm just going to flip that one around. I'm just going to put some glue on this one. Okay, so now we have those decorative panels on. Now I'm just going to put some glue on these 4 tabs. I know that looks like a lot, but it really isn't. I'm using a very fine point. Just get those corners really good. All right, and now we're just going to, oops, I could have put my panels on the sides, but I didn't. Oh well, you have panels here too. Just wanted to get those with the holes in them so it lines up. Keep your box as square as you could possibly get it. Just going to hold it for a second, make sure it stays this time. Okay. We're going to bring this side up. Grab my panels that I forgot here. I'm not doing my top panels yet because we have magnets to add, and we don't want those magnets showing. So I've got some long panels here. The long panels, of course, don't have any holes in them. On the back. And actually there are 2 extra in there of these because We won't need them on the bottom box, but I'll just leave them in there in case you want to use the box for something else. And then this one will just close like this. This is your top box. We're going to set that to the side. You're going to repeat the same steps with this one. There is not a score on there. I believe I put the score on the wrong one. That's okay. Actually, you can put this on. I'll wait. I'm going to wait on my panel, my top panels, and my magnets. So let's go ahead and move on to the center. This is the center box with the 3 holes. And you're going to fold it the exact same way you folded the other. You just don't have that big lid flap. Fold everything away from you on all these score lines. And then on this one, you just have glue on these 4 tabs. On the tabs where the holes are at. That's it. And I didn't put my panels on. I have to dig those out and do that. I kind of like to put them on before. Makes it easier. Glue all your tabs down to the inside. Okay, and now we're going to go and get the one with 3 holes in it. And that one has 3 holes, and I need 2 of the long ones. Okay. Just going to make sure that that lines up. And it does. Oops, don't drop yours and get glue everywhere like I just did. Anything sticking to it. When I pause, I will get my baby wipes out and clean that. Just going to line that up just so that the holes are all lined up. Turn it around. And do the same thing. And then do the sides. Now if you have the paper and you don't like that white edge, I generally do, I just don't have time today. You can cover that with a Copic marker or a red marker, go around the edges of your decorative paper, and you can hide that. You could foil these pieces, guys, and eliminate the panels altogether. That would be super pretty. If you have the foil tools, foil your box before you cut. Gorgeous. Okay, and then there's your center box, and it is ready, so we're just going to set it to the side. You're going to repeat that with this box. And then you've got your your bottom piece, and it has the 4 holes in it. We're just going to fold everything away from us again. And I'm going to say that you can resize this, guys, and make sure that you group everything. Select all, group all, and then resize so that everything is sized together. This was a really good size for cookies or baked goods, candies, you know, for a neighbor's box, for gifts, like for Father's Day. So this is the size that I went with, but you could definitely make it smaller or larger. Each one of these panels will take a sheet of paper to cut from. Well, before I started and added some tabs that were needed, you were able to get it on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I don't know that you still can, but the scraps are large enough that you can do other projects and cards with them. So you're not going to be losing any cardstock, but it will take 7 sheets for your base material and 2 sheets of each of your decorative material. So if you're doing inside decorative material, you will need a total of 2 pieces of that and then 2 pieces of your outside decorative material. And you will need at least 2 pieces inside for this box because you're going to have to hide your breads that we put in here. Now, if you don't do the breads and you don't put feet on yours, then you can do without that inside piece on this one as well. And then you wouldn't need any of them. So 11 sheets of paper in all is what this took. Well, some of them are half sheets, so. And then that is your base box, okay? Super simple. You're going to repeat that with this one. We're going to put on our decorative pieces just like we did before. I'm going to pause here and then we'll come back and I will finish cutting. Finish putting it together, I should say. Okay, guys, so now I have all of my boxes done and all my decorative panels are on them. And in case I forgot to tell you guys, this paper is from Bo Bunny. It is the Joyful Christmas paper stack. I don't know where you might find this. I got it at Hobby Lobby. I went by there today to check to see if they had another one because I wanted some extra of this paper and I couldn't find any. So you might be able to find it on scrapbook.com, on bobunny.com, or on Amazon. I have links for scrapbook.com and Amazon down below, and if you don't see them, just ask me. I'll be happy to get them for you. So now we have our bottom, our middle, and our top. Next, we're going to, I think, do the top panels. And your boxes are going to open to the inside here, so you'll want them facing each other. Okay, closed, just like that. And then I scored these, and it was deep enough to score it so that I could see it on the back, but you can also feel it. And your little circular score is going to go to the inside. And there's the other one, just like that. How do I want to flip that around? I mean, you can flip it around if you want, and I may do that. No, I'm just going to leave it. It's going to give it a pop of white on each side. There we go. Just my OCD. So now I'm going to grab a couple of these magnets, and they're really, really, really strong. There's 2, and they're just super thin. There goes one. They're just really, really super, super thin. You can use art glitter glue to glue these down with, but I am going to use a glue dot. They're super strong, and that's what I think I want. And I'm just going to pop it down on one of these glue dots. And my glue dots are super big. They're a lot bigger than I need, but that's okay. I don't mind the extra stick. So I'm just going to press it down in that glue dot, and then I'm just going to peel the whole thing up. try to. You can see how super sticky that is. And I get these at scrapbook.com as well. Amazon, wherever. So I'm just going to stick it in there, and you can see all that extra glue dot I got in there, and that's okay. I don't mind. Just stick it right down in there. And then we're going to peel that up. And then I'm just going to bring it over here. I can see where my score is on that paper, and I'm just going to plop it down. Okay. And now I am going to put my glue on my panel. And if you want to glue this panel or do a magnet in this panel here to keep that lid down, instead of doing a piece on the top like I am, you could do that as well. Or in addition to, you could do both. Okay, just going to open it up and give that a rub down. Get it good and stuck. I'm not putting anything, you notice, on top of the glue dot. And that's because I want as much strength to come through. Because if I put too much on there, well, actually I did put it on the wrong side. I rather had stuck it to this side. So hopefully I have enough stick on mine. So I made a boo-boo. So make sure that you stick yours on this box. Put your glue dot on there and then stick it down. Maybe move that score line. As long as you get it in the general vicinity of the center, it'll be fine. Don't really need a score. I just did it for quick reference of where it goes. It should work fine. We're about to find out. It's picking up everything else though, right? So I'm just going to take two more and I'm just going to drop them on, and they stuck, so I'm fine. As long as they stick and you don't have too much in between, adhesives and stuff in between. So you want to drop those down and leave those there. It's very important for our next steps, okay? We're just going to pull those together, and then this is going to be my base piece. So here's where I'm going to put my glue dot on top of that magnet. Actually, hopefully I can get it to stick without pulling it loose. I just want to make sure it's stuck on the correct side. That's what you want to watch here. Did you get it on the correct side? I'm going to get it off my finger, I hope. And stay there. This is the fun, tricky part. Here we go. And then I'm going to get another glue dot. You can use smaller ones. You probably won't have as much trouble as I'm having getting them off my fingers. I'm going to put another one right there. Get it stuck on there. And pull it loose. There we go. So now I'm going to line those boxes up, and now I want the right side, the wrong side of my paper on here. And I just want to kind of get them centered up. And this is going to end up being my back side. So I did that wrong. I have my glue dots on the wrong side. I need it on the sticky side because I'm reversing them. I almost messed up. I'm just going to pull those off. Start that over. Okay, that's the side that sticks. So that's the side that's got to be here. That's right. So let's try that again. Gonna knock them off. My bad, guys. There we go. So now I'm going to take my oval and line it up right about where I think center is going to be and where I want it. And then I'm going to drop my magnets. Preferably not in the box. face down, center it up. Just gonna hold it. There we go. Get one stuck. And there we go. Just kind of lining my paper up. It'll shift under those magnets. That looks pretty good and centered to me. So now I am going to, I think, just use a drop of art glitter glue on top for this part, just to make it easy. And find my other decorative piece. There it is. And then this piece will go right there on top. Now I'm going to lift it off. Just set those to the side. Then I'm going to flip this over. And the art glitter glue is enough to hold that there for me right now. That's all I need. And I'm just going to place those glue dots now. Now the glue dots will be where they need to be. Actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to seal them in there with art glitter glue. Why not? It should be fine. I've used it before and it did perfectly fine. So I'm just going to put that on there, and then we're going to sandwich them in between these two pieces. That way our magnets are hidden. Like this. Yay, and it's stuck. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got my boxes in the right direction, and this here, you want the holes to the inside. They should be to the inside no matter which way you've got them. Okay, no third hole over there. That's how you know that you've got your lids to the inside. And then we're just going to glue this guy down. Right in the center of that piece. Now if you wanted to, you could just do a magnet on one side and leave this side on there. Totally up to you. But I like doing both magnets. That way it's not stuck to the top of either box. Alright, so now we're done with that. Put those magnets off to the side. And we're going to set that to the side and let it dry. Now we're going to get into putting the box together. Now these are just support tabs. They don't do anything. They're just going to hold the weight of the other box. And here is where you want, this is where this matters, guys. The center ones don't matter. They're identical. But the bottom ones, they do matter. You don't want your holes to the inside like the tops. You want them to the outside. Okay? And make sure that if your holes match up to the top, then they're in the wrong place. You have to switch them around here. Okay, and that's going to determine where the handles go. Because the handles go to the inside. So I'm just going to set them just like that with my holes to the outside, and we're going to work on the handles. And there are 2 score lines. You're just going to fold up on that one, and then the same on the other. That way when you put them together, I'm using my textured sides out, then it will create something like this. And then we're going to glue those handles together. Just like that. Now you're just going to bring that and drop them in between the two boxes here. Okay? And right here is where we're going to start. We're going to start with some glue, and then we're going to end up with some brads. I'm a little bit off on my handle to get out of line on my gluing. There we go. I correct the way that I glued that. It was not lined up. There we go. All right. And making sure that my holes are to the outside. We're just going to drop it in between. I'm just going to put some glue on around each one of the holes on these tabs. Okay. And now we're just going to place them right in between and line up your holes on the boxes. And that's just a temporary hold just to help you hold it. Oops. It helps if you glue the box too. So I'm just going to do it this way. Just line it up, stick it down. I forgot a step. You'll want to glue the handle to the, whoops, to this edge here. Holes to the outside, holes to the outside, and it will help tremendously to glue it completely. Right on the edge, keep it square, get the hole lined up. And then we're going to do this other side. Should be, and the holes don't have to be lined up perfectly, but if they are, it's better. Let's work on the next step. Okay. Still making sure my holes are to the outside, and I'm just going to flip this over, and now I'm going to glue around this hole, this edge, and this one. And because I have 2 layers of cardstock here in between, I am going to throw in a foam dot. It is not necessary, but I just kind of want to keep those layers. And these are really thin foam dots. If you've got the thick ones, don't do this because it'll push it out and you don't want that. But I'm using thin ones, totally optional. And then we're just going to place those together. I'm just helping it, using it to help me while I put this box together with you guys as quickly as I can. There we go. I'm just going to squeeze that. Then I'm going to come in here and glue these bottom pieces. Glue them right down. I'm going to hold it for a second and let that dry. There we go. And I did this with 6 smaller boxes so that you guys wouldn't need 12 by 24 paper. If I had done this with one big bottom box, it wasn't going to fit. So now those are stuck together, and this is kind of the tricky part because the bottom, you have to put the handle on before you put this piece on, and so that kind of tricky little move. And I think I may be off just a teeny tiny bit. There we go. As long as you can see the hole at the bottom, you're fine. So we're just going to, it doesn't have to be lined up perfectly. This is just a guide to get your brads in. So now we're just going to put this cover piece on. And you can totally cut this out of the decorative paper if you prefer, or cut a panel for it. I did not make a panel for the bottom, but you can if you want. And that's just going to help hold all that together. I'm just going to give that a rub. Spread that glue out. Make it sturdy. So you're going to have something like this. Now we're going to work with our brads. And I think, I'm not sure yet if I want to go with the gold. I'm just going to kind of stack these up and get a look. You can do the same so that you're choosing yours the way you want with your papers. So do I want to do the red or do I want to do that paper? I think I really like the red. So I am not going to be using, you could double that up, but I am not going to be doing that. I'm just going to be using my red papers against there. So if you're doing what I'm doing, you only need to cut one set of these. They're identical. So that's what I'm going with. So with that, do I want gold brads? Oh, that's pretty. I think I do want gold brads. I don't know. Oops, dropped one. Or do I want the antique ones? Ooh, that's pretty too. I think I'm going with the antique. Okay. Decision made. Decisions. So I'm going to go with the antique colors on mine. So my next step, I'm going to put them on the bottom here, and I'm just going to open them up. You want to hold them in there and open them up, of course. And that's going to create our little feet. So you're going to put all 8 of these in on the bottom and open them up. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch me drop these and put while I try to put them in. Seriously. Spreading them just a teeny tiny bit before you drop them is easier. That's the wrong one. There we go. Just going to go in and spread them. There we go. And flatten them out. So once you've got that brad opened up, and you've got your little feet, put all 8 of them on the bottom, and then we'll come back and continue on. Okay, so now I have my brads in there. I'm just going to fold these back so you guys can see. My brads are in there. Now we're going to put our decorative panel in there to cover those. So if you didn't do the feet, then you won't need these. And then my panels are just going to glue in right there at the bottom. Just going to kind of drop them in, and they're not covering completely, but they won't be noticeable. I'm going to put another one in on this side. Drop that one in. Just give them a good rub down. And then I did do panels for the inside for the brads. Once we get those in, you'll have those on all those ends. I did not do panels for these sides, but if you want to do them, you can. I just wanted them to be just a little bit of a pop inside. Okay, so now we're going to move on and start putting the box together. You cannot do those decorative panels yet, but they're coming. So that's the top. Here's our centers. Doesn't matter which way they go. Either way is fine on the center ones. Now you want to get 2 of your long, or you start with one. You want to start with one side or the other. And you're going to line up that hole and put a brad in the center, or on the second hole here. I'm sorry, wrong. On the first hole with this long one on the bottom. So you're going into the first hole, right here. Okay, not the second, but the first one. You're going to open that brad up. Okay. And we're just going to let that flop down. Okay. Then you're going to take a short one. My texture side out. There we go. And we're going to put a short one into that one. I'm just going to drop it in, and we're going to open that one up. And you're going to do the same thing on this side. You're going to take the long one, and you're going to put it on the outside. Oops. And open that one up. And then you're going to get another short one, and you're going to place it on the inside there. Okay. And now you can put your decorative panel right here on these, and then you're going to repeat on that side. So I'm just going to do one here, and then we're going to do that off camera and come back. So I'm just going to place that in just to cover those brads. And if you don't mind them showing, you could totally skip this step. Totally not a big deal. And it's going to be a little lumpy under there, so you're going to have to keep pressing your panels down until you get them to stick, but they will stick. Okay. Now you're going to come over and repeat the exact same step. Just leave these be. You're going to come over here and you're going to do the exact same thing on this side. So let's do that and come back. Okay, so now we have all of those on the box all the way around. Now we're going to start with our center box, and that's the one that has the 3 holes in it. And you're just going to lay your support tabs down and bring that box in. And then you're going to put a brad in that center hole, and you're going to bring this one to the center. Okay. We're going to drop that brad in there. I'd say we are. There we go. And then we're just going to open it up. But try not to bend your levers. Okay, they're going to be a little floppy, but that's okay. And we're going to come around to this other side. We're going to bring this long one up to the center hole on this side. Oops, dropped one. Here it is. Okay. I'm trying to do this where you guys can see, but I can't see. There we go. Doesn't want to open for me. There we go. All right. So now we have that one open. And now we're going to take this one, a little short one, and we're going to connect it to that inside towards the handle. And we're going to open that one up. There we go. You're going to turn it around and you're going to do the same thing on this side. To that inside hole. And open that one. All right. And now we're going to take another one of these little short ones and we're going to place it, you guessed it, on this end. Well, I'm going to try. Here we go. We're going to open that one up. All right. This is going to be so adorable. I'm going to flip it around and do this side. Then you're going to repeat the exact same steps on the other side, and then we're going to do the top. And as you put this together, your box is going to become a lot more stable, okay? So now we have those. Now we're going to put our inside panels to cover the brads on the inside of this one, and then we're going to hook the second box up just like we did this side. Once you've got that done, come back and we'll do the tops. Okay, so now we have those panels in. And I've already put my panels in the bottom of the top boxes. I did that one as well before I placed those in. And now we've got our holes to the inside and our lip to the inside. And it's just going to place right down on top of this one. Get that little guy out of there. And then the long one is going to connect to the closest, in that hole closest to the handle. And you're going to open that one up. I'm going to try anyway. I didn't have any problem off camera. I get on camera and I can't open them. There we go. So we're going to get those opened up. And then we're going to place this short one in that last hole. Turn it around. We're going to do the same thing over here. The long one goes in the hole closest to the handle. Open that up. And then we're going to spin that one around. Bring it up to that short one. Okay. And now we're going to place this box on. Get there. There we go. Just open that one up. This box is almost complete, guys. Open it. Sorry, I got off camera there. Just open that up. There we go. And again on this side. The long one to the inside. How stinking cute is this? I have the droppies tonight. These little bitty breads are not the easiest either. They're not real difficult. You get used to them. Get that opened up. Last one. And now we're going to place these 4 panels on the inside, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so now we have everything in line, and you're going to close your tops. We've got all of our panels in there. Just going to, oops, I want to shove it down there as far as I did. Just want to close them up and bring it together, and then you're going to pop on your magnet closure. Okay, and that's just going to bring them in, and it will relax after all this glue dries. Just give it some time, give it time to dry overnight, and it'll come together. Now, if you don't have magnets, you can use Velcro dots, whatever that you want for that closure at the top. Can't wait to see what you guys do. I have some ribbon here. I may add a bow to the top of mine, glue it down on one side. I haven't decided yet. I may put it on the handle. So go ahead and get yours cut, put it together. I'm going to get that file up for you guys. You have a wonderful day. Enjoy it. Give a thumbs up, a like on the video, subscribe. And if you're not a supporter, please consider supporting on Patreon. There's a link down below. Annual membership saves 10% and you get access to all my files. Have a great night. Happy holidays.